Hey there, welcome. I'm Latrice, founder of Amplify Her, and I am on a mission to help powerhouse women turn their message into a movement. Today I'm going to share with you a little secret day hack that you can do every single day that's going to ensure that you will start seeing your goals take place. I promise you won't regret it. So stick around, I'll be right back.
Embody the movement, empower your life. Now, here is your host, Erica.
Welcome back. Okay, so today's hack, today's message that I have for you is something that I am having to remind myself every single day to help me just keep going, to keep pushing, to stay in the lane of my goals and to stay in the lane of my dreams. And it's probably something that you can relate to, but it's so simple. And my reminder for you today is to take action and repeat. Take action and repeat. And if you can write that, I don't know, write on your arm, on a sheet of paper or something, as simple as it sounds, I cannot tell you how often I myself have struggled with this. And I see so many people that are right on the brink of something amazing happening in their life, but they refuse to repeat. And what I mean by that is one of the biggest hindrances that you can have to your success, one of the biggest blocks to being productive, one of the biggest blocks to doing what I love doing, which is turning your message into a movement, is when you stop the movement. And that's so basic, so simple, but it's so true. When you wake up every single day and you're determined that you're going to take action for that day, your life is going to be unrecognizable. A few weeks, even a few months from now, you won't even be able to recognize it when you start taking consistent action. So the repeat part of that is ending each day and asking yourself what worked, what didn't work, what do I need to carry over to the next day, but really taking action every day and taking the time to evaluate it. So as we break this down, the first thing that I would encourage you to do when it comes to taking action is write it out first. Write it out first. I was going to remix a quote. I feel like I heard a quote. If you know this quote, please put it in the comments section if you can. But it's something about like an ounce of planning saves something. I don't know, the Erica version is basically the amount of time that you spend planning is going to save you a significant amount of time on the back end in execution. So kudos to the person that knows the quote that I'm trying to think of. But yeah, so write it out first. When it comes to taking action, don't just wake up and jump in, and with no kind of plan, just jumping out there and wondering why things aren't working. So first, write it out. Get very clear. Outline your day the night before. Just some like hacks that I've seen very successful people do and things that have worked for me is preparing before it happens. It's so hard to work out when you just wake up one day and say, all right, I'm just going to do it. It's hard to stay consistent. But if you decide every morning before I have my coffee or before I do whatever, I'm going to work out for 20 minutes, you don't have to wake up and figure it out. So that's the first thing. Write it out and plan ahead. The second thing is the repeat. Rinse and repeat. So if you get that done that day, the second thing that you want to do is create something that you can do consistently. And even with using that same example of working out, I know like times where it's been so tempting because I'm like, all right, I gained weight or I feel out of shape. So I want to jump in like an Olympian. I want to just start my workouts. Like I'm just going to go run 5 miles. I'll do about 5 hours of strength training, all of this. And I hadn't worked out in weeks or months or a year, and you can't do that because that's not something that you can stay consistent with. So what you want to do when you think about repeating is how can I repeat the most minimal effort over the longest period of time. So that way, if you can do, some icing on the cake, if you do more than is required, that's great. But at least you're doing the minimum consistently. So again, number one, write it out. Number two, figure out what that minimum consistent action is. And number three, which I kind of just talked about a second ago, is audit yourself. Audit yourself. Because when you start thinking about what's working and what's not working, too many times I find myself and even other people bulldozing our way into stuff. It's like, okay, it wasn't working, but I'm just going to keep trying harder, and I'm going to keep trying harder. And kudos to the next person that knows this quote. To do the same thing over and over and expect a different result is basically insanity, right? So you want to take time to ask yourself the question, what's working? I'm getting up every single day. I'm doing fill in the blank. I'm repeating that action. What's actually working? Do less of what's not working. Do more of what's working. It's so simple. So audit yourself. When you think about taking action daily, you want to audit yourself. And so you may be wondering, all right, message to movement, what does this have to do with anything? You cannot show up in front of other people. You cannot get people on board for your vision if you're not consistent. And these are all things that I myself have had to fight through. These are things that I've helped other people with. You will not be able to get to that end goal or get someone excited if you can't stay consistent. And so this is something, again, that I can relate to, because there is nothing worse then you getting people on board. They're like buying the t-shirt, they're ready, and then you just go like radio silent, like, because maybe you got overwhelmed. Maybe you didn't have a handle on your day, so you didn't have a plan in place that could help you fully execute the dream. So some of these tips that I'm sharing with you are really essential if you are ready to start getting other people to hear what it is that you have to say, or to invest in your products, invest in your services. If you want to create a movement, you have to start maximizing the small things, because that's what leads to the big picture. So if you want more resources, if you want tips on how to get booked for speaking engagements and featured in media and using other resources towards amplifying your message, then go over to amplifyherlife.com/studio, and it's all about helping you to expand your reach, increase your voice, to stand on your story. Again, I'm Erica Latrice. You can connect with me across social media at Erica Empowers on pretty much everything, and I love to hear from you. So tag a friend, leave a comment, and again, kudos to you. I will give you some imaginary bucks if you know the quote that I was trying to say earlier. Go out and make today amazing, guys, because it is absolutely a choice. I dare you to soar. If you're ready to step out, I'm telling you, you can transform your life in 21 days by taking the 21-day Focus Fast, and you can get that at thefocusfast.com.
For more inspiration, visit us online at ericalatrice.com.